The last podcast dealing with argumentation has to do with general fallacies, which are not limited to deductive argumentation. There are actually 4 commonly committed general fallacies: begging the question, slippery slope, straw man, false dichotomy. Begging the question occurs when the premises of an argument rely on the conclusions being true, when in fact it's supposed to be the other way around. The premises are supposed to be reasons for accepting the conclusions being true. This is often referred to as circular argumentation. Here's an example. The conclusion is supposed to be God exists. Therefore, the premises should be reasons for our accepting the conclusion that God exists, not assuming that God exists. So premise 1 says the Bible says that God exists. Say, okay, well, why should we believe that whatever the Bible says? Premise 2 says, well, whatever the Bible says is true. We might then say, well, why should we think that whatever the Bible says is true? Premise 3 says, God tells us that whatever the Bible says is true. Notice that premise 3 actually assumes the existence of God, when in fact it's supposed to work hand in hand with premises 1 and 2 to establish the existence of God. Therefore, we have a circle. Second kind of fallacy is what's called slippery slope. This occurs when someone makes a causal argument in which they suppose that performing one first action will cause a chain of events to occur until we get to some undesirable result at the end. This is a fallacy when the probability of the entire chain leading to that undesirable result is lower than is being claimed. Here's an example. So imagine a state is about to vote on whether to have a lottery on the books. So here's someone arguing against the lottery. Well, with lotteries come casinos. Who runs these casinos? Well, criminal organizations. With criminal organizations, we get high numbers of prostitutes and drug dealing. If we get high numbers of prostitutes and drug dealing, this will represent the final stages of our society's moral decay. We don't want moral decay, so how do we prevent this moral decay from happening? Simple. We vote down the lottery measure on Tuesday. This is a fallacy when, in fact, voting in the lottery wouldn't lead to all of these events happening, ending up in moral decay. The third kind of fallacy is called straw man. It occurs whenever someone attacks an argument attributed to an opponent when really that argument being attacked was never advocated by the opponent. Here's an example. When Barack Obama says that he wants to provide affordable health care for everyone, he is advocating for socialism. Well, my friends, socialism didn't work in the Soviet Union, it isn't working in China or Cuba, and it won't work here. We should not let Obama turn our free country into the communist countries that we have opposed for so long. Notice that what's happened here is the position of socialism has been attributed to Barack Obama, and then a lot of beating up on socialism occurs, when in fact Obama never explicitly advocated socialism. Finally, false dichotomy occurs when an either-or situation is created under the illusion that there are no other choices, when in fact there are other possibilities. Example, premise 1, either I swear off drinking or I continue to binge drink every night. Premise 2, if I swear off drinking, then I won't be any fun anymore and my friends will desert me. Premise 3, if I continue to binge drink every night, then my friends will get tired of bailing me out and will eventually desert me. Conclusion, it looks like whatever I do, my friends will desert me. This is a fallacy because in premise 1, it looks like the only 2 possibilities are swearing off drinking and continuing to binge drink every night, when in fact there are other possibilities besides being a teetotaler or an alcoholic. There are many other fallacies identified by logicians. These are the most commonly committed, so these are the ones that we're going to talk and focus on. There are 2 things we have to ensure right now, though. That everyone understands why these are fallacies, and also that no one commit these fallacies in this course. It's imperative that we not commit these fallacies.